financial management and accounts receivable. And we're going to take a look at the customer record. Just pull up the customer I'm working with. All right, so this is the main screen for your customer information. So basically, on the top up here, it has the basic demographic information, where they're located, who their salesperson is, what kind of account they are. This one is a distributor, where they came from, and these are user definable drop-down lists, so you can track where your customers are coming from. The additional information is whether the customer is active or not, when they started doing business with you, what their payment terms are, average days to pay, well, they're pretty account balances. So this customer has a credit limit of $450,000. They currently owe you $175,000. They have open orders of $26,700. So they still have an available credit of $248,000. This is what they purchased from you year to date, and this is what they purchased for you over the life of their time doing business with you. Okay. Down here at the bottom, we did pretty extensive credit checking, and here's how it works. Let me explain these fields to you first. If you want to do credit checking when you're entering sales orders, you would check this box right here, credit check. And what happens is, if that is checked, when the order is entered and saved, the order entry program checks to make sure that this order that you're entering, plus any open orders already in the system, plus any open invoices they haven't paid yet, doesn't exceed their credit limit. Now, if it does, the screen will show that information right there to the customer service rep entering the order, so they can see what the situation is and let the customer know, saying, hey, sorry, but you're kind of over your credit limit. I need to get this approved. So it changes the order status to hold, and then an email sent to the credit manager assigned to that customer account, or if you just have one credit manager, it will be assigned to the default that you set up on the default tables. And it'll also send an email to the sales rep assigned to that account. So the way it works then is that every morning the credit manager can run a report, and that will print all the orders on hold. It'll give them the customer's current balance and the amount they're over their credit limit, so they can call them and say, hey, you have to make a payment before I can release this order. So once they do release that from hold, an email sent to the person that entered the order, the customer service rep, and also the sales representative assigned to the account. So everyone knows, okay, great, the order's now, it can go out now. Now, the other thing you can do, if an order does go on hold, and this particular order, it was also tied to a production work order and a purchase order. So if a sales order does go on hold and you don't want anything to happen, you don't want the purchase order to go out, you don't want the production work order to be worked on, you don't want anything to happen, you can put the entire process on hold. Or you can let those processes continue and just not ship it to the customer. But if you put everything on hold and then it's released, an email is also sent to the purchasing manager and the production manager, so they then know how they can proceed. So it's a pretty intensive credit management system. So some of the subsidiary programs that may be of interest to you that you can access from the toolbar, you can have as many ship to records that you need per customer. If the customer has different branches that you're shipping to, you can also, when you're entering the sales order, is enter a ship to on the fly. So they don't have to be pre-set up. If you want to look at the customer's activity, this gives you all the activity that's taken place. We have invoices going out. We have CR stands for cash receipts. And I think there was actually, nope, I guess that's about it. So we have invoices going out and cash receipts coming in. You can rearrange, obviously, these columns however you want to. Get out of here. Let's see, what's another one? You can enter, where are my shipping notes? If there's certain shipping notes that you want to print on the picking ticket or packing list, you can put those here. And if the sales order entry program finds any notes when you're processing the order, it'll go ahead and ask you if you want those to print on the shipping documents, and they'll print on those documents. Credit notes, if there's any kind of notes you want to associate with the customer, you can enter those here. We also have a set of credit letters, and I'll show you those in a little bit. but this is just a listing of the letters that you sent out to the customer trying to collect the debt that they owe you. And I'm just going over the main ones. Document delivery. This is where you set up how you want the outbound documents going out to your customers. So in this case, their statements, they want those emailed to them. They want their invoices emailed to them, acknowledgments emailed to them, quotations emailed to them, and everything else is print and mailed. We also do the same type of document delivery logic at the vendor level as far as purchase orders go. And then the last thing is you can also attach records to just about any record in the system. So we've got a credit app that we attached here. It probably isn't a real credit app. It's not. Yeah, it's just a document that we attach to it for the demo. So for a customer, like if you had a statement of work or trying to think of some of the other ones, if you had a besides a credit application, anything at the customer level, you can any kind of attachment, you can do that at the customer level. Same thing goes with vendors as well. All right, so let's take a look at some of the customer reports. Let's see. Okay, so statements. Okay, let me go ahead and print one. You can print them in bulk by customer, by salesperson, or by department if you use departments. So I'm going to go ahead and just print one statement for the customer we just looked at. And I am going to, okay, those are defined. I'm going to preview before I send it. So I'm going to build a document. And I'm going to print it for customer 12. All right, so here's the statement. And again, obviously your logo would be up here. Just gives you all the charges and credits and the balance due. And then it gives you at the very bottom, it'll give you the amount that's current and the amount that's past due. All right, so I'll build that out. And what that did was just email the statement to the customer. All right, so I'm going to finish here. All right, and then we have the aging reports. Again, there's several different options on how you print these. You can print the summary aging by customer code, name or salesperson department, and then you can also print it in detail. Let me go ahead and print it in detail for the one we're working with. And I'll do it to a PDF view. And I'll also mention that a lot of these reports can also be exported to Excel. All right, so here's the aging report. You can have, I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think you can have up to 7 different buckets, aging buckets, George, and you can also define the number of days within each bucket. So it doesn't have to be net 30, net 60, net 90. It can be whatever you want. All right, so that's the aging reports. And then the credit management we talked about. So basically, credit manager come in the morning, print the orders on hold report. I don't think I have any, but let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, I do. Okay. So she or he would come in here. It would give the customer what their credit limit is, what the exposure is, and what they're over. Call them up and say, hey, please make a payment so I can release the order. Here's the order that's on hold right here, $495. And then release orders on hold, credit letters. So these are the Dunning letters. We have a list of them here. Browse. So these are the ones that come the default formats that come with the system. So we have a collection letter that you send out when anyone that's over 120 days. If a customer is placed on credit hold or an order is placed on hold, you can send those letters out. You can send them out based on the aging, if they're 30 days past due, 60 days past due, 90 days past due. And these are totally, the wording on these are totally configurable. So you can change the wording to fit however you want it to be. Now, these values right down here, like invoice number, invoice date, due date, amount due, these are SQL queries, live queries into the database when you run the letter. So you don't change those, but you can certainly change any of the other wording on the letters.